Well, here's a room that might not look so familiar. This is our production control room. Basically, it's the heart of our facility, the operations center, where our newscasts can be monitored and controlled from audio systems to video content. That's also where we find our 5 o'clock producer, Emily Hodgdon. And Em, I hear you have some interesting stories that you're going to share with us today.
Yes, I do, Chris. And actually, starting today and every other Tuesday following, we're going to start this new segment called Tuesday Talkers. We're going to do talker stories, what's trending on Twitter, what's going viral. And let's just, while we're in the production control room, which is what we call PCR, let's have a little virtual tour. And starting with this computer here right in front of me. This is the newscast that I've been constructing throughout the day. We come up in here and we time the shows out. And a little bit beyond that is the video sources. And as you can see, it's the video that has played, will be playing, and all of our graphics. And to my left is our director, and she takes the buttons and she pushes the video up onto the screen for you to see at home. And also behind me is the spot where you'll see the reporters will do a live broadcast in our newscast. This looks probably a familiar view for you. And if we keep panning, the audio booth is right here. That's where we where we adjust the levels. He's getting a little uncomfortable. So, all right, as we move on, let's get back to the Tuesday Talkers now. And actually, the first one is ESPN announced yesterday the World Cup thriller between the United States and Portugal on Sunday night was the most watched soccer game in American history. The telecast averaged more than 18.2 million viewers. And the previous high for a soccer game was back in 1999 when 17.975 million viewers watched the U.S. women win the 1999 World Cup final in a game played at the Rose Bowl. Viewership peaked at nearly 23 million during the final minutes of the 2-2 draw. And let's keep the sports theme going here. One of the biggest names in basketball is now one of the most trending names on Twitter. LeBron James is headed back to free agency, and he's apparently told the Miami Heat that he's opting out of the final 2 years of his contract. Now, this news comes from an Associated Press story quoting someone with personal knowledge of the matter. Now, this doesn't mean James is leaving the Heat for certain, but there is no guarantee he will be in a Heat jersey next season. Now, thankfully for LeBron, Jeff Sutphin made this generous offer through a tweet. "I'm going to make a play, #LeBron. Come play for my team. We play Tuesdays and Fridays at the high school gym." So obviously the star forward has his options open. And now on to a note completely unrelated to sports. There are a lot of videos out there involving wildlife and human interaction. Well, this one, you'll never believe it.
Mr. Owl, you okay?
Well, look what the cat dragged in. No, seriously. Colton Wright says his cat dragged in a live owl into his house. The owl ended up stuck in the window and was flying around his living room. And after the owl calmed down, Colton was able to coax it onto a floor sweeper and move it out an open window. He posted this video on YouTube just a few days ago, dubbed the Owl Whisperer, and it's already been viewed more than 3 million times. So Chris, any funny stories that you may have about your cat and dragging in any furry friends?
It reminds me, yeah, my cat drags in all sorts of animals, but a hummingbird. That was the worst thing they ever dragged in, because you know how fast those things move and how small they are. The good news for us, the bad news for the hummingbird was it didn't have much life in it, so we were able to collect it up before it knocked too many things down. So.
Oh, well, that makes me feel a little bit better. But on that note, I'm going to send it back to you. You have the news to anchor, and I need to get back to producing. So.
I was going to say, you got to get back to time in the show. So.
Exactly. We're probably running out right now.
I'm sure you are. Thanks very much, Em. And we do need to take a quick break right now so Emily can check the timing of the show, and so Steve can get that weather forecast ready for us after the break.